So a while back, I got a comment asking me to make a video on places in Seattle to drink that aren't just bars. And in true me fashion, it took me about 6 months to come up with enough footage to make a video, so here we are. If you've ever watched me before or watched any of my vlogs, I think at this point you can gather that my friends and I enjoy drinking. So this type of thing was right up my alley, because who doesn't want to drink but also like do fun things while you're doing it and not just sit at a bar? But yeah, that's pretty straightforward, so let's just get right into it. First thing on my list is to go play trivia. I will leave a couple links in the description because there's two main websites that I usually go to when I want to look for places that do trivia. One being Geeks Who Drink, and the other one, I'm pretty sure you pronounce it Sporkle. You can actually filter it to be pretty specific by like what day you want, the distance from downtown or where you want to be, and it'll just show you a list of all of the bars that have trivia. As far as I'm concerned, I've never paid to participate in trivia, so it's usually free, but I would say if you're there, you might as well buy a snack or a drink just to support the business that you're at. But all in all, it is typically free, which is cool. Speaking from personal experience, my friends and I are terrible at trivia.
So far, we have 0 points.
It's our fault.
No.
But for some reason, we love going. It's still so fun, and it's just kind of fun when you get a group and you all have like different random knowledge, because all trivia is just like the most random facts that you probably don't even know that you know. And yeah, so we almost always get last.
We lose.
Nonetheless, it's still a fun experience. I know there's also a lot of ones that are themed, so that can be fun if you're super obsessed with like The Office or Friends or something. There'll be themed nights where there'll be like all questions about that. I'm sure you guys know how trivia works. Moving on, the next one that I found is axe throwing. Now this is something that was kind of out of my comfort zone. I've never done anything like that before because I've always been kind of scared. You see those TikToks where people throw the axe and it like bounces back at you? I figured that was gonna be me, but we wanted to give it a try, especially for the video. So the place that we went is in Capitol Hill. It's called Blade and Timber, and it is open every day, but the hours vary per day, so I would check on that before you go. And then with the prices, they don't necessarily vary, but there is a little bit of a different detail. Fridays and Saturdays. So Sunday through Thursday, it's $31 a person for 90 minutes. You can have up to 6 people in a group, which is cool. And then Fridays and Saturdays, it's either you have to have 4 people or you pay the $124 minimum. So if you have 4 people, cool. If you don't have 4 people, I would say just go on a weekday or something, because it doesn't make any sense to pay more when you wouldn't need to. I actually had so much fun doing this. It was scary at first because sharp objects, but there are people there that train you before. They give you a little crash course and show you how to do it, and kind of like, you know, they'll move your hands to position it correctly and things like that, just to make sure that the safety's there. And yeah, they're pretty good at teaching. I found myself doing a little bit better than I expected, and then after a while they came over and were like, you want to learn trick shots? And we're like, obviously. So got to do some trick shots, which was cool. And I think, yeah, I hit the bullseye once, so props to me. And sticking with the theme of this video, you can drink at this location. I want to say it was a 3-drink maximum, so they give you a little wristband, and every time you get a drink, they stamp it. And they had a variety of beers, if I remember correctly. And then I do think they have some snacks as well. Okay, next on my list is Flatstick Pub, which is a mini golf place. There are actually 6 locations in Washington, but 2 of them are within the downtown Seattle area. All of the locations vary a little bit in terms of hours, what food and drinks they have. I believe all of them except for one allow children until a certain time of night. And then I think there are 2 locations that allow dogs as well. 3 locations that allow dogs, correction. So the location that we went to was in South Lake Union. It is open every day. Sunday through Thursday, it's 11 to 11, and then Fridays and Saturdays, it's 11 till 1 a.m. You don't have to make a reservation, but you can. I feel like it never hurts to make a reservation just so you know that you have a tee time and you don't have to wait. But besides the putt-putt course, they do have a very large Well, at least at the South Lake Union one, they have a very large just sitting area where you can just like sit at the bar, sit at the tables, have a snack, have a drink. There's also Duffel Board, which is just tabletop mini golf, and that's $5 if you want to do that. Oh yeah, and also playing golf there is $10 a person. So it's pretty cheap. The other location that is downtown that isn't the South Lake Union one is in Pioneer Square. That one's a lot smaller, but just as fun. I believe that is one of the locations that does not allow children. So if you're curious about that kind of thing, double check everything online. It's all there. So for the last few on my list, I kind of just threw them as honorable mentions only because I don't really have as much footage for them, if any. Some of these I don't have any footage for, but I thought I'd throw it in just for more options. First one being Rockbox. If you like karaoke and you're too scared to do it at a bar in front of a bunch of people, go to Rockbox. They're private rooms. You can have a group of people. It's so much fun. Rockbox is in Capitol Hill and it's open every day 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. So for the standard rooms, you can have up to 13 people. It's $8 a person per hour, or they do have happy hours and then it's $5 per person per hour. If you happen to have a lot of friends, you can have a large party room for up to 40 people if you know that many people. And that's $145 an hour, but I'm sure if you cut it and split it up, it probably equals similar to regular, I would assume. You honestly can't go wrong unless you just hate karaoke for some reason, which there are people that do. Next is Topgolf. This one is outside of the city. It's in Renton, so you do have to get some transportation there if you want to go, but it is super fun if you have the option. If it wasn't obvious, I'm reading off of my laptop because I have all of my notes on all of the hours and locations and all of those things. So for weekday prices at the Topgolf, they do vary from $45 to $65 per hour, and that just kind of depends on the time of day, aka like peak times. Weekends, it varies from $53 to $73. Based on the same thing, the hours. But you can have up to 6 people in one bay, and it's not a per person price, it's a per hour price. So if you split it up, it actually ends up being pretty affordable. And if you're somebody who doesn't know how to play golf, it's fine. Like, I literally am so bad, but I enjoy Topgolf a lot because there's so much less pressure than going anywhere else, because I feel like at least half the people there suck at playing golf. So it's fun. They have a bunch of little mini games. You can play Angry Birds, which is one of my favorite games you can play. You're basically just hitting targets, which you're trying to hit down the Angry Birds as you would normally how you play, but that one's really fun. Yeah, there's a long list of different little games that you can play if you don't want to just hit it to hit it. And also at Topgolf, they actually have pretty good food. They have these mac and cheese bites that are super good, and they also have these donuts there that are amazing. They come with little syringes. I think you can choose 2 flavors. They have like chocolate, white chocolate, and raspberry, and you inject it into the donut, and it's so good. But yeah, they also have a full bar there. We usually end up getting pitchers for the table. It works out. It's cheaper that way. So this next one, I gotta be upfront, I've never been. I have wanted to go though. It is in Ballard and it's called Mox. I think it's Mox Boarding House. And basically the concept of it, if I'm correct, is it's a sit-down restaurant, but you can play board games. They just have a huge selection of board games, and you can play a board game while you're eating dinner. And then I believe they give you 15% off if you want to take the game home. Like, they'll give you a new version of it to take home. But that just sounds super fun. I love board games, and I definitely want to go sometime, but yeah, I don't know too much about it. But if you're in the Ballard area and you like board games, go to Mox. And last up on my list is to go to a comedy show. There are apparently a ton of places that you can catch a comedy show in Seattle. I recommend going on everout.com because they have a full list of all of the upcoming comedy shows and open mics that you can go to within like the month. So you can honestly just pick one unless you happen to know the comedian. Last night we went to an open mic, and I have never been to one before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. And I haven't had that much fun in so long. It was so interesting. I went with a couple friends and it was so hilarious. Sometimes it was hilarious because of how much of a train wreck it was, but entertaining for sure. I definitely plan to go to many other open mic nights from now on, but it's the perfect place to just chill, have a drink, and listen to some maybe terrible comedy, which ends up being kind of hilarious in return. Yeah, definitely recommend. And honestly, so much props to anybody that gets up and does something like that, because that has to be so terrifying. I could never. So yeah, that was my list of places that you can go and grab a drink and enjoy some fun activities while you're doing so. Like I say at pretty much the end of every Seattle related info video that I make, if you have any that weren't on this list that you know of, throw them in the comments for other people to see, because I can't be out here finding all of them for everybody. And I need some ideas myself, because I like going places. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Make sure to subscribe. I never say that. I feel weird saying it, so I never say it, but make sure to subscribe, please. But yeah, that's all. Okay, bye.